Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. It is Monday. Oh, sorry, guys. Monday, and we got a show to do. How you guys doing? I am rough. I spent the majority of my day in bed, just recovering from the other day doing lawn work, and cursing myself for being this out of shape. Holy crap! Oh well. When I say spent my day in bed, literally, I was only out of bed for about 3 hours today, and then I crawled right back in. And honestly, I would still be in bed right now if I didn't wake up with a splitting headache. I think I was just dehydrated. Once I got some liquid in me, my headache went away. But it's hard to drink when you're sleeping. But I mean, I'm happy and I'm healthy. So those are the two things we really care about around here: happiness and health. I will take my mental health over my physical health every day of the week. And I have a really good life, and I'm a happy guy. So all of the other stuff is just superficial. And I only tell you it because I might have to make up a lot of shit to talk about tonight. Honestly, I haven't seen much at all. I woke up, I read a little bit of Twitter and a little bit of news, and for the most part, it was like, I don't care about any of this shit. Very little of it caught my attention. I guess the Streamy Awards were tonight. I have never paid much attention to that, but for some reason, it was all over my timeline. And for some reason, Dylan Mulvaney's picture was in like every fucking article about it. I don't care. I don't care about Dylan Mulvaney other than the fact that, it's being used to push a bunch of bullshit on children. Because let's be honest, Dylan Mulvaney's audience is all 12-year-olds. It's TikTok people. But Mr. Beast apparently won Streamer of the Year for 4 or 5 years in a row now. I don't know. But it's the Streamies. How about a Streamy for me, bitch? I've been streaming for a lot longer than some of these people, and I've been good at it. All right, the quality sucks, but I'm good. Anyhow, yeah, that was all over it. There was a shooting in Jacksonville, which I suppose we should talk about. Some racist piece of shit, reportedly racist piece of shit. I want to say that. It was weird how quickly it came out what this person's manifesto said. Did you guys see that? There's a shooting down in Jacksonville. 3 people are killed at a Dollar General, something like that. This kid, he tries to go to a college campus and they kick him off, which was really weird. Like they refused him access. He couldn't just walk around. You ever been to a college campus? You should be able to just walk around unless you're trying to get into a specific building. But anyway, so apparently he decides not to shoot up the school, thankfully, and instead goes and unfortunately kills 3 people at a store. And reportedly, he left 3 different racist manifestos. Do you guys remember the manifesto from the trans shooter? We haven't even heard jack shit about what that said. The FBI has it there. They have to analyze it before we're allowed to look at it. And then maybe we'll be able to see what it says. But in this case, immediately, yeah, it was a racist manifesto. And that's the only reason I question it, is because of how quickly they're like, yes, it was a racist manifesto. All right. Maybe it was. I'm not doubting. Okay, I don't want to say I'm not doubting, because I do have that doubting tendency in me. But it was amazing to me that it came out that fast. The body wasn't even, because he's dead. Thankfully, they shot his ass, or he shot his own ass. And if you're going to do that, remember, don't take people with you. Just do it yourself. I'm not advocating suicide, but don't take people with you. Anyhow, the body wasn't even cold. And the sheriff is on TV going, yeah, he had some racist manifestos. That seems a little weird to me. Just a little bit weird to me. But anyway, so this became the talk today. We had to have all kinds of talks about racism today, which we'll get to later. You think they're still writing the Nashville one? I think they're editing it. I think when it comes out, it's going to be heavily redacted. Nuts. It'll be interesting. We knew what the Christmas parade fucker said. Not immediately. That comes a couple of hours later after we find out his name. Anyway, it goes with the agenda. That's why it's being released. Well, I saw one fucking article. It wasn't even an article. I'm sorry. It's that Carolyn Orr chick, the one I got into an argument with the other day. She said, all of these mass shooters, it's not a coincidence. Like there's some grand conspiracy of a whole bunch of, white people just waiting their turn to go shoot black people and then themselves. I mean, the number of mass shootings, again, let's just remind people of what mass shooting is. It's now 3 or more people being shot, not including the shooter themselves. And that can even be stray bullets. So mass shooting. In this case, it wasn't strays. He was reportedly targeting because of skin color. But that is such a nebulous term. 3 or more. Okay. And now we have to see it every fucking time there is one. Like, oh my God, 3 people. All right. It's sad. It is. And we do have a problem. But they always use it to try to get rid of guns. Get rid of guns and to tell us that there's a white supremacy problem in the country. One of the things we're going to watch is Vivek Ramaswamy on CNN talking about this. And it's amazing how the narrative of this is just, if there's a problem, there's a systemic problem in America. No, there fucking isn't a systemic problem in America, you fucking retards. Look up the word systemic. You guys use it all the goddamn time. Could you use it right just once? Just one fucking time. Could you look up what systemic means and use it properly? It means part of a system, you dumb sons of bitches. What part of the system was this kid in where it was like, yes, go shoot the black people? Anyhow, what I really want to talk about first is Vivek Ramaswamy and 9/11. We talked the other day, and I need to make a correction. I kept calling that chick Crystal Crystal Ball, and it wasn't Crystal Ball. That was my mistake. It's another dumb person. It was fuck. We'll hear her name in a minute, but it wasn't her. So it wasn't Crystal Ball. I apologize. I stand by everything I said about Crystal Ball being an idiot, though. But it's that chick who used to be on the show with Don Lemon in the morning, and they moved her to the nighttime, and for some reason, getting Don Lemon to yell at you in a mean way means you're able to have a nighttime show. She's the one that Trump had the discussion with, and Trump made her look like a fucking retard. But she pushed the thing the other day that Vivek Ramaswamy said that there were agents in 9/11, and that's not what he said. Even close. Caitlin Collins. Yeah, that's her name. Thank you. Now, there's a funny thing about Caitlin Collins and Vivek Ramaswamy. If you look up Caitlin Collins and Vivek Ramaswamy on the YouTubes, you will not find this interview. You won't find it. You'll find a video from 5 months ago where they talked. Oddly enough, they're not very proud of this interview. They didn't put it up on their channel, which is weird. So we're actually going to have to watch it through the hill. So she had her little segment the other day, and a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, I think it was, Ramaswamy actually comes on her show to discuss it. And in true CNN form, well, she's a disingenuous shitbag throughout it. So let's take a little look at this. Again, this is from the Hill. And Vivek Ramaswamy, sorry, get his name right. This is the part of the interview that I could actually find. Now, Vivek, whatever. Ramaswamy claims 9/11 truther claims were misrepresented. To remind you, they're going to show it on the screen, but just to remind you, he's talking about January 6th, and he makes a comparison to the 9/11 Commission, and if they had found something, we should know about it. And they've taken that to be like, he said that there were federal agents on the plane. Not at all what he said. And we'll get over it. We'll go over all that shit here in a second. Let's make sure our sound is up. All right, here we go.
So give another comment that you've made that is getting attention today about 9/11. A report in the Atlantic that you gave an interview to, you said, quote, "I think it is legitimate to say how many federal agents were on the planes that hit the Twin Towers."
Stop. You see what she did right there? Before he ever gets to this part, in that Atlantic article, he talks about how many agents were on the ground on January 6th. And he says, we have a right to know. And then he says this, I think it is legitimate to say how many federal agents were on the planes that hit the Twin Towers. Ugh.
Maybe the answer is 0. It probably is 0 for all I know, right? I have no reason to think it was anything other than 0. But if we're doing a comprehensive assessment of what happened on 9/11, we have a 9/11 commission. Absolutely, there should be an answer the public knows the answer to.
And again, this is in relation to January 6th and the January 6th commission. And that with the January 6th commission, if there were agents on the ground, we should know. And how many were on the ground? He's saying, look, they had a 9/11 commission. If there were federal agents on that plane, I would hope we would know. I don't think there was. I have no reason to believe there was. But if there were, we should have a right to know. And like, see, look, he said there were federal agents on the plane. It's not at all what he fucking said. And he keeps saying something wrong. And I do need a little bit of criticism for him here. He keeps saying he was misquoted. He wasn't misquoted. He was taken out of context. That's different. He was taken out of context. Was this from the Sean Ryan show, the quote? No, this was a reporter from the Atlantic who followed him around for a couple of days. And I think it's the second to last day they have this discussion. Quote mind. Yes, Faithless. Quote mind is the better way to say it. Because in here, what she just read, did January 6th come up at all? Did you see January 6th on that screen at all? No, because it's quote mind. This is completely out of context.
Explain to me what you meant there.
This is really, it's funny. I mean, the Atlantic is playing the same game as CNN. It's funny. What I said is on January 6th, I do believe that there were many federal agents.
Pause. Not only, we'll take that back. Not only should you believe that there were agents on the ground on January 6th, we know that there were FBI assets. We don't know for sure it was agents because they haven't said that yet, but they went from no, there was nobody there to we might have had one or two to we don't even know how many fucking many we had. There were so many there we don't know. So many we don't know. So it's not unreasonable to believe that there were agents there on January 6th because we know that they lied and that they lied again and that even they are like, we have no fucking idea. There were tons of them. He was misrepresented. He was misrepresented, but it doesn't matter. Nothing she read was wrong. He doesn't think there were agents, but if there were, we have a right to know. That's what she quoted. Yeah, but he does believe that there was something more to 9/11. And the reason he believes that is because there was something more to 9/11 that is part of the fucking record. Anyway, let's watch.
Be an answer the public knows the answer to. Explain to me what you meant there.
This is really, it's funny. I mean, the Atlantic is playing the same game as CNN. Amen. It's funny. What I said is on January 6th, I do believe that there were many federal agents in the field and we deserve to know who they are. On 9/11, what I've said is that the government lied. And this is incontrovertible evidence, Caitlin. The government lied about Saudi Arabia's involvement.
Here's where he makes a mistake. Because this is what he's talking about with the 9/11 conspiracy theory that they keep talking about, is that he believes on 9/11 that two of the hijackers who, according to the official report, just kind of happened to meet this guy at an airport, and then they went to live with him. That guy actually turns out to be a Saudi agent who knew both of them. He brings them into the community and introduces them to everybody. He basically sponsored them. And that's what he's talking about in this, is that in the 9/11 Commission, they're like, yeah, he didn't know them at all. But the truth is he did. And he happened to be a Saudi spy, basically. He's an intelligence agent. But that was not in the 9/11 report. That is something that the FBI just released, I think a few months ago is when it was released. Yeah, oh, by the way, that guy, he was a Saudi intelligence asset.
There was a Saudi,
and he makes a mistake here by not pointing out that what he was talking about is a comparison that if that had happened on 9/11, we have a right to know. Not saying it did happen, but if it happened, we'd have a right to know. That's what the commission was for, i.e., that's what the commission for January 6th should have found out. We know there were federal assets down there. Who were they? How many? Do you guys have that answer? Because if you do, I'd love to see it. Because the 9/11 Truth Commission didn't look at any of that fucking shit. What they looked at was, what did Donald Trump do to make this happen? That's all they were about. There was nothing about how January 6th happened, how we could have prevented it, what do we know about who was on the ground? None of that shit. It was Donald Trump was mean to this one election worker. And that's what it was about. All right.
Controversial evidence, Caitlin. The government lied about Saudi Arabia's involvement. There was a Saudi spy named al-Bayoumi who they lied, and the government lied, and the 9/11 Commission lied. We know that because declassified reports in 2021 revealed that al-Bayoumi.
Sorry, 2021. I said a couple of months ago, so it was a couple of years ago now.
Spy named al-Bayoumi who they lied, and the government lied, and the 9/11 Commission lied. We know that because declassified reports in 2021 revealed that al-Bayoumi was indeed. What's that?
Yeah, the report that President Biden declassified. Yes. But your quote here.
Did you see how that Biden declassified? That Biden declassified? No. There was a 20-year hold on it. Let's see. It happened in 2001, 2021. Oh, yeah. That was just what happened to be the time that Biden declassified. Shut the fuck up, Caitlin. You fucking bitch. You fucking chill. That Biden did it, you guys. Biden did it because Biden cares that much. Biden cares that much.
Are you telling me that the quote
20
is
years
wrong
later,
here?
yeah.
But are you telling me that your quote is wrong here because it says how many?
See, he just said the quote is wrong. The quote isn't, well, I mean, the part that she played, I mean, it is technically a quote, at least according to the recording we've heard, but she left out part of it. And that's what he should be saying, I'm being taken out of context rather than I am misquoted.
Many federal agents were on the plane. I actually asked Twin Towers.
Yeah, when I actually, and this is just lifting the curtain on how media works again. I asked that reporter to send the recording because it was on the record. He refused to do it. But we had a free-flowing conversation. The truth is there are lies the government has told about 9/11, but it's not the ones that somebody put in my mouth.
And again, there is recording. It is what he said. It's just taken out of context. And I guarantee that the rest of it, that he talks about what he just said, the Saudi agent who took these guys in, we know it's a fact. And we know the 9/11 Commission lied about it. There's nothing conspiratorial about saying that. It's 100% true. But anyway, this is what the fucking news does. This is what he said. Yeah, what's the broader context? Fucking liar. Because again, they're not lying that he said it. They're not lying. What did we talk about this 2 days ago? They're not lying that he said it, but they absolutely are lying about the context of it.
The one that I articulated.
Now in a
okay, so that's the end of that. Again, it goes over to the Hill because CNN believes in that so much they don't have it up on their YouTube. So instead, we're going to watch today's video on YouTube, which is I closed. Son of a bitch. Okay, I got to do some producing work in the background while I talk to you. We're going to watch one today about the shooting, and I forget the blonde chick's name that he talks to. We'll find it in a second. What's her name? Dana Bash. And they do something here also. They don't show the whole interview again. I don't know how long the whole interview is. We get a 7-minute clip of it. And she gets very mad about something. And I don't know if the chick's on Xanax or she's always like this because I don't watch CNN very often. But she is, for being as enraged as she clearly is, she stays oddly calm, like scary calm. And yeah. So this is about I just want to put on the screen the whole thing. I know I have to anyway, because I normally can't just make it blow up. Oh, I do have it open. It's just on the other screen. My bad. RFK JK, thank you. Still waiting for my uncle's papers to be completely declassified. That's not going to happen, man. That stuff was supposed to happen under Trump, and they still didn't do it. It says Rama Swami defends comments about white supremacy and KKK. Is that not some inflammatory bullshit? He defends. That makes it sound like he's like, yeah, I support the KKK. That is not even close to what he says. It's actually, seriously, it is so far off of what he says. And they play what he says. And she's angry about it. But here we go. This one is fucking hilarious.
Now is 2024 presidential.
What were his comments? Ramen. Ariana Presley the other day came out and said, they're going to say it on here, but just to give you a little bit of a teaser on it. She said something to the effect that we don't need any more brown or black people who aren't out there for the brown or black cause. And he said, that's the kind of rhetoric from the KKK. He called her the Grand Wizard. It's fucking wonderful. Anyway.
Candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, sir.
Look, guys, I don't support him for president yet, but I'm really close. I am like a cunt hair away. Whoops. Is that a phrase you guys are familiar with? I'm a frog hair away. How about that one? A frog hair away from supporting this guy. I like a lot of what he says, but I still have a problem with any major party candidate, just to be honest. But anyway, Vivek, let's hear it.
I want to start with what I
always vote net. I just don't vote for major party candidates. Just saying.
Began the program with, which is this racist shooter killing 3 black people in Jacksonville yesterday. What is your reaction to the shooting?
Okay, I know Ron DeSantis had to go down there because it was in Jacksonville, and I'm sure they're going to ask all of the candidates about it. But that is such a dumb fucking question. What is your reaction to the shooting? What the fuck kind of question is that? Like they're going to go, phew, I am so happy that happened. I was waiting for this. I really was. Let's be honest. The people who are waiting for shootings are the one on the left right there. They love shootings. The more people that die by gun violence, the happier they get because the more they can push their bullshit agenda. But anyway, I love this question. What is your reaction to that shooting? I was bored actually when I heard it. I'm like, fuck it. I didn't care. What do you expect them to say, you fucking idiot?
It is such a tragedy, and my heart goes out to those families. This should not be happening in the United States of America, and it is wrong. The reality is we have a mental health epidemic in this country.
Yep.
There are reports that this particular individual, the perpetrator, was indeed evaluated for mental health deficiencies as well.
Time out. That's another thing that was known almost immediately about this guy, which really makes me think they had already been watching him, and I don't know if they were or not, but almost immediately it's announced that this guy had been through psychiatric counseling before. Chicago over this weekend. Now, Snow, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. You know what we do talk about? I'm brought to you by you. Hit that like button. Please, please, please. and share with your friends.
And I think we need to have the courage in this country to bring back a practice of putting back psychiatrically ill people who pose a risk to their communities into psychiatric institutions, not just drugging them up, but faith-based approaches and other approaches that fill our longing for purpose and meaning in this country. I think it is just a shame that we even have mass shootings like this, be it the one that happened in Florida, be it the recent one, the Nashville shooter in a Christian school, killing 6 in a school. We have to address that mental health epidemic, and we need leaders with the courage to do it.
This guy is better at politics than I think even he realizes. Do you see how he brought up the Nashville shooter? But he's saying what we've said many times: bring back asylums, bring them back, get people in there. But he goes a step further, not just drug them up, not just fill them with whatever stupid thing is going on in pop psychology these days, but to have a faith-based thing. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's got to be Christian. Remember, this guy's Hindu, but something to fill that void that we've talked about so many times with the absence of God. And look, I'm not trying to make anybody grab onto a faith. I'm agnostic, and it's just how it is. But if you don't have something that fills that void in your life, if you don't have something that fills the God void, for lack of a better term, we've seen these people. They're fucking lost, grabbing onto anything they can, anything to fill that. And everything becomes a religion to them, whether it's their diet with vegans or feminism with their blue-haired bullshit. Everything becomes a religion. Poker, thank you so much for the donation. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Poker. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sir. I hope you have a wonderful one. Really do. All right. And I hope you get the cake that you asked for. It's a little throwback to yesterday's show. A drug habit. Yes, exactly. There's so many things fill that void for people. And again, I don't necessarily think that you need religion, because I'm not a religious person. For me, it's my family. It's family and humor, and some of it is politics, but not to the point of they're evil. I say evil people are evil. Some people are like, if you don't like me, you're evil. And that's where you go too far. That's where you can go, you're atheist, aren't you? Anyway, so he's answering about school shooting, and
but my heart goes out to those families, and I hope something like this never happens again.
Mental health is one aspect of these shootings, and apparently, and we're still learning a lot about what happened. The facts are still coming out. Also, this was very much apparently racially motivated. The sheriff there said point blank that this shooter had manifestos coming, 3 manifestos, and said specifically that he went to this dollar store with the intent of killing Black people.
that's not even a question. That's not even a fucking question. Yes, mental health is part of it. He went to kill the Negroes. That's not a question, Dana. He already answered. He said it's horrible. What the fuck more do you want him to say? Yes, killing Negroes is bad. You know what I mean? That's not even a fucking question. I fucking hate CNN. How the fuck are their ratings down so bad? Everybody should be watching this shit just to laugh at it. Fuck.
I think that is heinous and deserves to be called out for what it is. The reality is we've created.
Yes, let's all condemn the dead guy for being racist. Anybody out there is like, no, he was great for being racist. Anyone? No, none of you jokers in the audience. I mean, for real, what the fuck? Oh God. And this is what they want. They want everybody to condemn the racism. Who's not? Jesus fucking Christ.
It's such a racialized culture in this country in the last several years that right as the last few.
Doesn't he even start his first answer with, and it's horrible, but there's another thing that needs addressed? Another thing?
Burning embers of racism were burning out. We have a culture in this country largely created by media and establishment and universities and politicians that throw kerosene on that racism.
Did you catch that? You guys are causing this problem. I love this guy. I fucking love this dude.
And I can think of no better way to fuel racism in this country than to take something away from other people on the basis of their skin color. I've been saying that for years. And I think that is driving, sadly, a new wave of anti-Black and anti-Hispanic racism in this country. I think the right way forward is if we want to stop hate and discrimination on the basis of race, let's stop discriminating on the basis of race and see what unites us as Americans, because I do not think this kind of racial division and any division is good for us as the United States.
You know, he could stand in as host on this show. You shouldn't be discriminating at all, bitch. She didn't. Oh, sir. Did you catch that? Sir. He's right. I mean, this is what Morgan Freeman said. Remember that? How do you stop racism? Stop talking about it. CNN likes racism. It pays their bills. Not much anymore. All that money's going to MSNBC.
I believe that there are a lot of people of color in this country who don't think it was just lasting embers of racism, but that a lot more work had to be done, particularly given the history of the systemic racism in this country with slavery and beyond. I want to.
All right, let's discuss that for a minute, Dana. It's not the lasting embers. It's the systemic racism from slavery and beyond. Okay. You couldn't even go to the civil rights movement. You jump back to 1860. Slavery's ended in this country in 1865. That's when the 14th Amendment is passed. And 15th Amendment is passed right there too. Those are your two slavery amendments. We had the war from 1860 to 1864, I believe, or did it end in 65? I always get the end date wrong on the Civil War. But by 1865, slavery is illegal in the U.S. And that's where you jump back to. Honey, that would be the lasting embers. The lasting embers, because we're so far fucking removed from that. 160 years, sweetheart. 160 years. Nobody out there still had slaves. The fuck are you talking about? She said nothing at all because she gave him nothing to attack. But she still tries. She still tries. Look, I think colored people in this country, I'm sorry, people of color would say that it's more than lasting embers because of systemic racism like slavery. It said what?
To ask you about a comment that you made about white supremacy in Iowa on Friday.
I want to ask you about a comment you made about white supremacy on Friday. All right. She's going to play the clip. I'm not sure how well we'll hear the clip here. CNN is not great with their audio sometimes.
I've never once encountered that yet. I'm sure the boogeyman white supremacist exists somewhere in America. I've just never met him. Never seen one. Never met one in my life, right? Maybe I'll meet a unicorn sooner. And maybe those exist too.
So just because somebody hasn't encountered one doesn't mean that the notion of white supremacy doesn't exist.
He didn't say it didn't exist, you silly bitch. What he's pointing out is it is not the problem that the left keeps wanting to make it out to be. The left would have you believe that there's a white supremacist around every corner. Do you remember that picture? This is a couple of years ago now, where there was the Klan rally in front of that city hall. I forget where it was at, somewhere in North Carolina. And like, oh my God, how many people were there? It was like 10 in the South, far beyond the Mason-Dixon line. You're down in North Carolina. You've already passed Virginia. You're in North Carolina. I think it was like Charlotte or something. But they're like, look at this, 10 goddamn people. And they played it up like it was a big goddamn deal. How many people live in that town? I guarantee you that wasn't even 1% of how many people live in that town. Like, oh my God, do you see this? Most of the time, these idiots have a rally because, yes, the Klan still exists. Yes, there's white supremacists. Of course there are. But they're small in number. That's the thing. The issue is, by all means, keep an eye on them. But the issue is you guys talk about them like they're everywhere. Like they're destroying the country. They're taking over everything, these white supremacists. And there's very few of them. Meanwhile, the real racism, and I'm jumping ahead here, is coming from the left. They're proudly racist. They proudly stand up for things like affirmative action, which by its very nature is fucking racist. They love it though, because it's not against the black people. Although it doesn't help them either. Anyway, No Monkey Stop Adding Words. He says, I haven't met one. I'm sure that they exist, but I haven't met one. Hey now, hey. They don't exist because he said, I haven't met one. That's what she did. Just because you haven't met one. I haven't met a chupacabra, so they obviously exist. Fucking idiot.
As a threat in America, what do you think goes through the minds of the families of the 3 victims in yesterday's shooting when they hear you say that white supremacy is basically a fantasy?
He didn't say white supremacy is a fantasy. He said he hadn't run into it. He said he hadn't met a white supremacist. That doesn't mean it's a fucking fantasy. Jesus Christ, lady. This is CNN. For fuck's sake. Exactly, kitten. He did not say that. It's not anything close to what he said. He was pointing out that, again, it's not the problem. Because she just said the problem in the country. It's not a huge problem. It's really not. Now, as an issue, it's a huge problem. But as a percentage of the country or the number of people that you have to worry about being this way, it's not a huge problem. Houses exploding is a huge problem in the realm of, oh my God, there's something happened to my house. But houses don't explode all that often. So it's not a huge problem of houses exploding. She's putting word in Vivek's mouth. Oh, yeah. Out of malice or just stupid. Malice is the truth, Gray. They are coming after Vivek hard. Hard, especially after the debate. They tried to take him out with the debate immediately by like pumping up people like that idiot Nikki Haley. Like she got him, and Chris Christie, he put him in his place with the Ukraine stuff. And it's not working because, well, people could watch it. And so they're coming after him with everything they have, because right now he's right up there with Ron. And that pushes everybody else down, which means their best establishment Republican is still not all that establishment. I know if you're reading Twitter and stuff right now, you're hearing that Ron is the establishment, and he's as close as you got, but even he is at least willing to stand up to shit like wokeism. What's up, Jack? Jack, are you there?
Yeah, my internet like shit. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was just making sure you're here. How you doing, man?
I'm tired and my internet's acting up. How are you?
Just sore, but otherwise happy, man.
Oh, that's cool.
My body is making me pay for doing yard work, man.
Mine's making me suffer because the weather's changing. I think you're winning on that one.
Yeah, so far, I told you the other day, just minor sinus problems, but even that's cleared up. So I'm a happy guy, and I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling well.
Is it because you sacrificed Bob Barker and Joe the plumber in the last
I did not have anything to do with Bob Barker. I was awake.
So you admit to Joe the plumber.
I don't know when Joe died, so I can't say.
Today.
What time? Oh, yeah, it was probably me. I was asleep all day.
Oh, there it is, guys. He
Yeah.
admits it. This monkey psychic powers. It's like pyronesis, except it's monkeynesis.
Now that you're here, Jack, we're going to go back so we can see what this idiot bitch is talking about. So she's just asked Vivek here about the shooting, and he was like, that's a horrible thing. We need some asylums in this country. And she's like, but what about the Negroes? And he's like, yeah, I don't support racism. So she's like, I want to ask you about some comments you made about white supremacy.
Oh, God.
That's where we're at. So here we go.
Supremacy in Iowa on Friday.
I've never once encountered that yet. I'm sure the boogeyman white supremacist exists somewhere in America. I've just never met him. Never seen one. Never met one in my life, right? Maybe I'll meet a unicorn sooner. And maybe those exist too.
Now, in fairness, he does call it a boogeyman. He does call it a unicorn. He's being very dismissive there. They're absolutely white supremacists. We've seen him on some videos and shit. But he's saying he hasn't met one.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not that many of them. Let's be honest.
And that's the point. But here's Dana Bash, and I swear to God, this bitch is on Xanax. She is so, I don't even want to say relaxed, like almost out of it. But anyway, this is her take on that, Jack.
Oh, just because somebody hasn't encountered one doesn't mean that the notion of white supremacy doesn't exist as a threat in America. What do you think goes through the minds of the families of the 3 victims in yesterday's shooting when they hear you say that white supremacy is basically a fantasy?
If that's not a loaded fucking question, if that is not, how about, what did you mean by that? That's not, no. All right, so Vivek here she's got the winning question there. I got you, bitch. Well, this is Vivek, and that shit's not working with him. He has done a very good job at responding to these people. This is what I said earlier, guys, why I say that he is a better politician than I think even he realizes. Yeah. That, or he is a lot smarter than even I am giving him credit for.
Yeah, I think he just his lack of political savvy benefits him in so many ways.
Yeah. All right, so here's his answer on this one. And we haven't even got to the reason we're watching this yet.
I'm sure they're grieving for their loss, and I don't want to politicize those victims, Dana. This is a very sensitive situation where we should have nothing but foremost respect for those victims and not bring them into partisan politics.
Sit down, bitch.
Stop trying to make everything political.
I fucking love that answer. I don't think we should be bringing them into partisan politics. That is a wonderful answer to that fucking bullshit question. All right. Anyway, I told you guys he's got the answers for these idiots.
But I was responding to a question where someone asked me, what racism have I experienced in recent years? And I answered honestly, most of that racism has come from the modern left.
She's not gonna respond well to that. I just want to give you a little trigger warning. One thing the left really hates having pointed out to them is that they're the fucking racists now. Not that there's no others, but that the racism that we see most often comes from the left. Vivek is Hindu. He said it. Oh yeah, he's openly Hindu. Him, his wife, they're raising their kids Hindu. He's not ashamed of it at all.
Yeah, well, that means that he is Asian, and Asians are white supremacist adjacent.
Yes, true.
And I answered honestly, most of that racism has come from the modern left. It's happening during the course of this campaign. Kara Swisher calling me Rama Smarmy the other day and reveling in making twists of my last name.
Okay, it is funny.
It kind of is, yeah.
But if he was on the left and a righty called him that, absolutely it'd be all over the headlines. Oh my God, look at the racism.
People effectively reducing me to the color of my skin and my attributes.
Yep.
That comes today from the modern left. But the reality
Well,
is,
do you
this is
acknowledge,
part of
though,
a
that
dogma
white
in this
supremacy
country.
does still exist?
Okay. I'm going to go back for just a second because he's giving his answer and she has to butt in.
Reducing me to the
That's fair. Keister Bunny says now there is a track record. You're not wrong. Okay, racism does come from the left, going all the way back to the beginning of this country.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, look at Jim Crow laws and all the punitive damage from Reconstruction was almost entirely Democrat.
The Democrat Republicans are the ones who become the Democrats. They were the slave owners in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Seal, thank you so much. Vivek Rama Swami, I'm Hindu, but shares same values as Christians. He does. And he also says that he will stand up for religious liberty better than any Christian candidate that's on the stage with him, which is probably true. And you know why? One, Christians are largely pussies about this when they get into power. They don't want to push back because they don't want to be seen as pushing their religious values, which I understand because, you know, that's what the press would crucify them with, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. And
I
mean,
but also
Christians suck it up.
As a minority religious person, and I don't mean his color of his skin, but Hindu is a vast minority here in America. He's got a lot more to lose with religious liberty being lost. He's way down on the totem pole of shit where they'd be like, well, let's get rid of this. And like, okay, yeah, it's just the Hindus. Anyhow.
the color of my skin and my attributes. That comes today from the modern left. But the reality is,
do you
this is
acknowledge,
part of
though,
a
that
dogma
white
in this
supremacy
country.
does still exist in the United States?
So right after he says it's coming from the left, she has to cut in with, well, but do you acknowledge that there's still white supremacy?
It's even worse. He said this is the dogma.
Yes.
And she immediately jumps into a mantra, like instantly.
Yeah.
United States?
I acknowledge that all forms of racial animus exist in the United States, including fringe branches.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it because of the video. Right as he says, I acknowledge that there's all kinds of racism in the country. She does a little head shake, like she's saying no. Did you see it?
Yeah. No, it's always Whitey. It's Whitey did the bad man. Ugh.
Exist in the United States?
Watch your head. Hopefully the video is clear.
I acknowledge that all forms of racial animus
Right
exist.
there. Right there. No. All forms of racial animus. No. It's only Whitey. It's only that damn honky.
Ew, Whitey.
This is a brown man talking to you, sweetheart. Maybe shut up and listen. Isn't that what you white girls say?
No, it's step out of the way. Let me handle this, brown person. I am here to defend you.
Lesser Logic says, yes, just a twitch. No, that was a no. She's like,
That's the wrong answer.
Has Vivek denounced white supremacy today? I don't think so. So he's probably racist.
I mean, clearly.
In the United States, including fringe branches. I mean, that's clearly what was at the head of this mentally deranged individual responsible for this shooting. Yes. But I think there are many forms of mental derangement that cause us to see one another on the basis of our skin color and our attributes.
Amen.
And I think what we need to revive, Dana, and it's my job as the leader, hopefully as the next president, to do this, to revive our doctrine of e pluribus unum, not just celebrating our diversity and our skin deep attributes, but celebrating what unites us across that diversity. That's what we've forgotten in the United States of America. Our true strength is the set of ideals that unite us. That's my job to revive as our next president. And I think that the next generation in
crazy talk.
Right?
He's trying to imply that all people are kind of equal, and that's not equity.
This is what I've told you guys, where I don't care if the white race disappears, as long as America is a country that is still united under the values of America. I don't think it's uniquely white. I think that there are brown people, there's tan people, and there's white people that can understand the idea of free speech and limited government and the right to bear arms and due process and illegal search and seizures. As long as you have people who are united under that, I don't give a fuck what color you are. Not one fucking bit. So I'm so with him with what he's saying here. Yes, we're a diverse country, but our strength is not our diversity. Our strength is our unity. Always has been.
Mm-hmm.
Particular is so starved for that, starved for commonality, starved for a nation that is unified, bigger than the sum of its parts.
To the point where, what was it that we saw the other day? 39% of people are proud to be Americans. That's it.
Yeah.
39. That pause is not flattering for him. Bubba, you know how the pause game goes around here. It's not flattering for anybody.
Yeah, Monkey's an equal opportunity hater on the
That's
pause
right.
game.
That's what we need to recreate in this country. And to those who say the
Amen.
remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination, I say no. The right remedy is actually abandoning all discrimination and moving forward with colorblind meritocracy in the United States of America.
You took it to another level on Friday. In addition to the comment we played, you took issue.
All right. This is the part that really pisses her off. And it's going to be the next 5 minutes of this fucking video. And Jack, I don't know if you've seen it, but
No.
Strap in. It's fucking beautiful. By the way, did you see how she's cutting him off as he's finishing that answer? He's clearly not done. But again, hey, you can't be preaching unity here on CNN.
Yeah.
Hey,
how dare you preach like forgiveness and trying to get along with other people? We don't do that shit here.
Brown man, hey, stop that.
Why don't you just fall in line and do what you're told? Oh, wait.
You're supposed to hate honkies like me. I'm not like me because I'm one of the good ones.
Yeah.
I'll stand up for you. Anyway, here we go.
Issue with comments from Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. She reportedly said, quote, "We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. About that, you said, "These are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK."
Mm-hmm.
He's not wrong. Hey, we don't need any more brown people who aren't speaking the way I tell them to.
Yeah, that sounds. You could take a lot of her quotes like that, and if you put them, like, just overlaid the sound on a grand wizard, had somebody reading them, it would sound like it came from a fucking Klansman.
So I just want to point out that so far tonight, we've seen him talk about how the left is where the racism is coming from. And now he's called a congresswoman who is absolutely racist. He didn't call her. He said that she's using the words of that she is the modern grand wizard. He's not wrong. This is what I'm talking about, where I think this guy's a better politician than I think he realizes. Because there's a lot of us out here who have been saying this for a long time. You and me included, Jack.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're pretty smart.
We are. And funny, too.
That's why people rip us off.
Stop it, Crowder. Anyway.
We see you.
I'm sure the KKK was responsible for more than a century's worth of horrific lynchings, rapes, murders of Black people. How in any way are the views you're talking about comparable to the views and atrocities committed by the KKK?
How's Planned Parenthood doing?
Right. Before we get to that, I think it's amazing that she talks about, all of the horrors that were visited upon Black people by the Democrats in their white hoods. But she doesn't mention the Jews at all. Dana,
why would she do that?
You don't like Jews? Why do you hate Jews, Dana?
Probably the same reason de Blasio does. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, don't forget, it's not that they also don't like Latinos or anybody else not of pure white color, Jack.
Right. it's weird how they seem to target people that don't believe like they do too, who happen to be of color.
Right. Yeah. All right, here we go. Monkey, you have mixed race grandchildren? No. They're all honkies like me. I wouldn't have a problem with them if I had mixed race grandkids. I wouldn't be like, oh, you only get half a Christmas present this year. All right, here we go.
What I said is the Grand Wizards of the KKK would be proud of what they would hear her say, because there's nothing more racist than saying that your skin color predicts something about the content
you
of
didn't
your
just say that.
viewpoints
You
or
didn't
your
just say they
ideas.
would be proud. You said these are the words of the modern Grand Wizards of the modern KKK.
All right. This is from the same speech where they just showed us video, Jack. Notice what they're not showing us here?
The video.
The video. Show what he goes into saying. This is the same shit we talked about with the Caitlin Collins bullshit, where they take part of what he says and like, this is what you said. Like, yeah, I mean, that is a quote, but what was around that quote, you fucking whore? Anyway.
Okay.
It is the same spirit. You're right about that, Dana. I think it is the same spirit to say that I can look at you and based on just your skin color, that I know something about the content of your character, that I know something about the content of the viewpoints you're allowed to express. For Ayanna Pressley to tell me that because of my skin color, I can't express my views, that is wrong. It is divisive. It is driving hate in this country. This is dividing our country to a breaking point.
That is a debate that is based on nonviolent discussion. That you just said you're using rhetoric, which she said she's using rhetoric. That's one thing. And
wait, there's been no white on black or black on white violence based on this kind of rhetoric? None?
Well, I mean, I think she's shocked he knows how to use rhetoric. So
I'm guessing she doesn't know about that guy who ran his truck into people at Christmas time.
Oh yeah.
Daryl
but
Brooks.
It's not like Al Sharpton used his rhetoric to get a Jewish guy killed during a riot.
No.
Another thing is to say that she represents and she is a modern version of a KKK, which, as you know, was dedicated to the subjugation and violence against Black people. How on earth is she?
Do you think she's ever questioned Democrats about this? Like, you guys made the Klan. How is it you guys can come out here and pretend you're like this when your party was dedicated to the subjugation? Your party split away from the United States to keep slaves.
I can answer that. They always fall back on it. Flipped during the Southern strategy.
Oh, yes. The great Southern strategy, which didn't work. And the South was still divided between two Democrats.
Yeah.
For those of you,
they always fall back on that, as that's the point. All the racists left, the few that were left jumped on the Republican Party because the Republican Party was always racist.
Yep.
A modern Grand Wizard,
let's be intellectually
of that
honest.
kind of organization.
Let's be intellectually honest.
You're talking to Dana Bash from CNN. That's not a possibility, my friend. You're talking to CNN. That is not a possibility, my friend.
And get to the heart of what this debate ought to be about. There is a worldview that says that the remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. That if you're Black or brown, you have to have a particular point of view. That's from Ibram Kendi. That's from Ayanna Pressley, the people I quoted in my speech yesterday.
But can you have an intellectually honest conversation
of who you are,
when you accuse her of being a Grand Wizard of the KKK?
Let the man speak. He's pointing out that these people are, well, they're being racist. These things that, in this particular case with Presley saying, hey, we don't need Black or brown people out there who aren't being the right kind of Black and brown people speaking. That's fucking racist.
She's trying to get him to make an apology or toe the party line.
Yes.
That's it. It's capitulation or apologize. There's
we
nothing
still have
else.
We still have 2 minutes of her arguing this point in the same exact way, just for another trigger warning. It's going to be exactly like this for the next 2 minutes.
Can you have that
I think that
intellectually
the
honest
point is-
discussion with that kind of rhetoric?
Yes, I can, Dana, because the point I'm highlighting is
Real
that-
quick, I do want to point out, not everybody in the Klan was violent. They weren't. A lot of it was just rhetoric. A lot of it was in your state houses. A lot of it was in our own Congress.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up, bitch. Not all of it was what about the violence? What about the violence? Well, what precipitated the violence? Was it a white guy who wasn't racist at all, Jack? He's walking down the street and one day holy shit, that's a black guy. I hate him, kill him. Or was it some fucking idiot who goes to a Klan rally and hears the nonsense from the Grand Wizard up on the stage talking about how the Negroes are taking their jobs? They took our jobs. They're gonna rape your women.
Look,
comes from
you
the
have a lot of
rhetoric.
hate with their facts, man.
It comes from the fucking rhetoric. God damn. But what about the violence? What about the violence? 2020, sweetheart. 2020. Don't burn down that. It's a black-owned business. Burn down the honkies business. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
even the people who in good spirit, we all agree that the KKK was an awful organization that is a toxic stain in our national history.
Not all. I mean, when the Democrats got elected to Congress in 2018, they all wore white.
That's true.
So given that we can start from that point of agreement, now that allows us to say, well, who actually sounds more like that organization today? The people who are calling for more racial discrimination.
Anybody got the link to Ryan Long? Anybody? Because somebody needs to send that shit to Dana Bash.
Right?
On the basis of skin color. So yes, I think that is an
But it's not
intellectually
about
useful starting point
sounding
for a
like
provocative discussion
the whole-
that we need to have in this
The
country.
whole point is
And I
the
think that- I think the
KKK
reality,
wasn't
Dana,
just
is
about rhetoric.
We have to speak
They
openly. in this
lynched
country.
people, they murdered people, they raped people, they burned their homes.
And that was wrong.
Simply
That was
because
obviously wrong.
So
Wrong.
So did Democrats who were not in the KKK, just for the record, Civil War-ish times. Just saying.
okay, so again,
that is obviously a
if
wrong
you
thing
want to
for
have
them
an
to have done.
intellectual
Absolutely.
discussion, do you think that maybe comparing her to the Grand Wizard and the notion of what she said to being a modern leader of the KKK was maybe a step too far, or you stand by what you said?
Wait for it.
I stand by what I said to.
I want to hug this guy. She is trying her best to beat him down, and he's like, "Fuck you, bitch."
Yeah, she's bad at struggle sessions. But that's what this is. This is
Yes.
this is your chance to apologize. We don't want to take this to the next level.
Green Badger says, "Don't forget how many of them really liked Senator Byrd." Yes, Joe Biden's mentor, friend, and guide, I think was the other word he used.
Ugh, gross.
Senator Byrd, the last known member of the KKK to have served in the United States Congress.
Provoke an open and honest discussion in this country, because there is a gap, Dana, between what people will say in private today and what they will say in public. I think we need to close that gap. I think we need to have real, open, honest, raw conversation as Americans. That is our path to national unity. And there are many Americans today.
For the record, this show is where you get open, honest, raw conversation. Come hang out,
Sure.
Vivek. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Throws my panties at Vivek. Vivek, I'm with you, my friend. Somebody, and I forget who it was, I'm sorry, they took a whole bunch of my quotes from the debate the other day where I'm just gushing over Vivek, and it's funny as fuck. It was great. They're on Twitter. I wish I think, did I retweet it? I think I did. If not, I'll try to find it again.
Who are deeply frustrated by the new culture
I'm
of
just not
anti-racism
sure how
that's really racism and new
provoking a
clothing.
discussion.
And we need to have that debate in the open. Dana, I think
I'm
that
not
you're
so
doing,
sure how
with due
provoking
respect,
a
what many in the
discussion
media do,
of-
picking on some fringe comment in the context of a broader context that I was offering it in a speech.
All right, so
avoiding
you
the
just said
meat
that your
of the
comment
issue.
was fringe.
Let's have the.
That is not what he said, you disingenuous liar.
You just called it fringe.
I don't understand context.
A fringe comment from the broader context of the conversation I was having.
Do we need to like teach her how to diagram a sentence, because she clearly didn't pass like 8th grade math, English. Can't talk today.
Courage to confront the meat of that. No, I'm saying you drew a fringe comment from a much longer speech. As I described I described you picking one fringe comment from a long speech that I gave to duck debate from the real issue that I think you don't want to have, Dana, because I think you probably agree with me on this, that this is toxic
I think that this debate
from leading politicians
I think that this debate
on dividing us on the basis of race. And I want to have
I
the
think
open
this
debate.
debate is fascinating and interesting and opening and important. What I did was
I do too.
Explain to our viewers that you were asked a question and you took it to a point where you called a sitting member of Congress who is Black, who was having discussions about race, calling her the modern grand wizard of the KKK. And I'm just not sure how that's open and honest discussion.
And that's where they cut that off.
Of course it is.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that fucking wonderful? Do you think he didn't have an answer there, or that she actually did end it? That was like 10 minutes. So they may have actually ended it right there with her giving her bullshit take on it and not allowing him to respond again. Look, what he said is, yeah, that's the words of the modern grand wizard of the KKK. It's called a comparison, sweetheart. And he's not wrong. It is literally the Ryan Long video in the real world. It's why the Ryan Long video works so well, is because it is so on point. It is so on point. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it's a video where he's pointing out that the modern left and hardcore racism, they mesh.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the one point, the leftist is like, I don't think the races should mix because, you know, got to have that. The Black people got to stay pure. That's part of the argument now is, no, we got to keep the Black people pure. Yeah, races shouldn't mix. Where does that come from? Where have we heard that before?
Seems kind of clanny.
It really is. A lot of their rhetoric is very much straight from the Klan. And they don't even realize it. And when it's pointed out to them, like, no, that's not what we meant. You got to give us a little bit of leeway when we say stupid shit, because all we do is say stupid shit. Oh my God, it's annoying as shit, man. I'm tired of the news pulling this shit, and it's not that it was Vivek the reason that I went over that. I mean, part of it, you know, it's Vivek, so of course I am. But the fact that they do this shit to everyone on the right, they don't do this shit to people on the left. They will, if it was somebody on the left, look what they, you know, Joe Biden, you're not Black if you don't know if you'll vote for me. They didn't spend a week going, oh, this guy's a racist piece of shit. They were like, what he meant was, what he meant. They don't give a shit about what Vivek meant or the fact that he's absolutely correct, because he's on the right and he's on the rise and he's got to be taken down. They're doing to him right now what they tried to do to Trump when Trump announced his candidacy back in 2015.
They're helping his case. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, they're helping his case, but they're trying to beat him down as a racist. We even saw him already be called. I'd say that he's repeating neo-Nazi talking points. Nuts, is that the link to the Ryan Long one? I hope so. Let me open that in another thing. Yes, this is it. This is it. I'm going to throw that one into the chat on Rumble as well. There we go. If you guys have never seen that, that's one of my favorite videos on YouTube. It's another one of those that I watch every couple of months, Jack.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
It's funny as hell. And just to remind myself, yep, that's exactly what's going on. It's exactly what's going on. All right. I don't know how much of this one we can watch. It's funny. It's on an Indian reservation. This is you, Jack.
No, is it?
It is.
Awesome.
It is. I got to turn it down though, because the guy on the bullhorn is loud as shit. So we got some assholes blocking a road. They pulled out a trailer and some signage, and the police aren't playing that shit. All right.
Man, get off the highway. This is a state route. Everybody will be arrested if not. 30 seconds. Send your leader to my vehicle. Let's talk. Get off the fucking road.
I love that part. Get off the fucking road.
Tribes ain't playing, man.
No. And it's a federal highway, and the sheriff here is like, no, get the fuck out.
This is a tribal rangers that they're not put up with this shit.
There's a sheriff that helps them as well. Yeah, but they're like, get the fuck off the road. And if you see the line of cars that's waiting, it's like a mile long.
Oh, it's insane. I bet these guys were pissed, mainly because they're getting flooded with complaints.
I still think that's too loud, especially with the siren. And it's not really important what they're saying, so we're going to turn that down more.
Oh, it's important what this crazy lady says.
I didn't hear. I couldn't tell what she said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just wait.
Okay. Oh, wait, are you talking about the one crying on the side of the road?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. If we can't hear her when it gets to that, we'll turn it back up.
Weep tears, lady. I don't give a shit about you.
I will talk to you. Get off the fucking road.
Beautiful.
Just drove right over all their signs. Oh, I fucking love it.
Stupid little barricade nonsense. I fucking hate these people.
This shit out of, yeah, I'm tired of people blocking the roads. And it's not a mile, it's more like 3. I'm not real good with that large of a distance, so I'll take your word for it. But yeah, this Rangers looks like, no, fuck this shit. Get it out of our way. And he's going to do it again. And he stops him. Okay, yeah. Okay, now we get the chick, so we're going to turn it back up a little bit. Sorry about the sirens, guys. Nothing we can do about that.
Get out now! Get out! On the ground! All of you on the ground now! Get on the ground!
I like how she's looking for a clean place on the ground to sit
on. She's just casually moseying over while he's pointing a gun at her.
Yeah. Get on the fucking ground.
Get on the ground!
That almost reminds me of the chick yelling, "We're not violent." Reminds me of the "Leave Brittany alone."
Yeah, that's just as whiny and obnoxious. Now, you'll hear the police officer say something, which is why he had his gun drawn.
So who's trying to get the gun? No one has a gun.
We have no weapons at all. We're environmental protesters. Please.
Trespassing on tribal land.
Please.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Please.
What the fuck is happening? What the fuck? Our friend is getting fucking hurt. She was just standing here. What the fuck? What's the bad cover?
He's hurting me. You should probably respond to police commands.
Yeah, especially because he said, "Where's the gun?"
Mm-hmm.
That's why he jumped out hot like that, because somebody probably said, "Looks like they have a weapon."
Yep. Keeverdam, thank you. You're lucky she's even performed for you bastards. Leave Brittany alone. Yes. We're environmentalists. Fuck off. Anyway, The rest of this is just them arresting her, but I wanted to show this. This is drone footage of the line of cars.
Yeah.
This is the
Nonviolent
bullshit.
protesters.
This
Look
is
at
the
all that
bullshit.
idling, all
Yeah.
the fumes that are coming out of those vehicles that they're causing.
Yep. Longer than they need to because they could have, they'd get to their destination quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there you go. Look at that line of cars. It goes all the way over there. And then it just fades. So we don't know how long it actually is.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Out in the middle of the desert. You got old people. You probably have people who don't have air conditioning, and
yeah, and the ones who do, that's even more carbon you're putting into the air because it takes more to run that.
Yeah, I hate these people. I have no problem with what happened here. This was on tribal land. They thought that this person had a gun. That's probably what somebody reported. I have no doubt of that. And they trashed the signs, stupid little signs. This just stop oil bullshit that these guys obviously learned this crap from. We're just gonna sit out in the road. People will eventually get sick of that shit. And I like how the one cop was like, "Come over to my vehicle," which moved them out of the way so he could ram through the barricade.
Yeah,
the other guy could. That was great.
Where is this? I'm not sure where this one was. I just know that I have new Spank Bank material because that shit made me happy.
Right.
It says Nevada. Tribal rangers in Nevada whichever you prefer, took swift action clearing the road blockade by a climate group, resulting in mass arrest. And good. Fuck them. I'm glad they're in jail. Looks like Nevada or Arizona. It is Nevada. I would have guessed Arizona myself, though, honestly. But, All right. This one, we're not going to read it. I'm going to throw it into chat for you because it's long and involved. The gist is that we have some new information about, Hunter and his business dealings, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw this shit. Burisma's Devin Archer met with then Secretary of State Kerry just weeks before Shokin was fired.
Yep. Oh, I don't need to dig that link out. Good.
Shokin told Fox News in new interview he believes he was fired due to the Burisma probe. And yeah, that's what he says, that he believes he was fired. And for the record, that is in his best interest to say right now. I just want to get that out there. The White House claims, no, they weren't even looking into Burisma at this time, which I don't know. I don't read Ukrainian, so I'm not sure what was going on there. But it is weird to me, Hunter gets on the board. Now we have proof John Kerry was meeting with Devin Archer, Hunter's business partner. The Secretary of State is meeting with Devin Archer. Why?
They wanted to talk about ketchup.
Hunter Biden's former business partner and fellow Burisma board member Devin Archer met with then Secretary of State John Kerry just weeks before the Ukrainian prosecutor who was investigating Burisma was fired in 2016. Yeah. And there's a email that came out, which for some reason is redacted in parts. But what it shows is that Devin Archer met with John Kerry for reasons that are, beyond my comprehension, Jack.
Yeah, I hear you.
Ask Archer. Archer is, look, even with what he has told us, he was still cagey about a lot of stuff because it puts him on the hook too.
Yeah.
This man, he was part of the business dealing. So this is why when he went up before Congress, the Democrats were able to come out and go, he didn't really say anything, because there's a lot he couldn't say without incriminating himself. His nephew worked for Burisma. Yeah. John Kerry's, it's not just that his nephew worked for Burisma. He worked for the, what's that group that they put together? Seneca, Rosemont Seneca. That was, I don't remember if Archer was part of it, but it was Hunter Biden and John Kerry's nephew that made that thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of how do I want to put this? Nepotistic abuses of our government resources in all of this. None that we can prove. There's none that they're like, they wrote it down. Hey, dear Dad, could you please step in and fix this for me so I can get rich? None of that's written out. You do kind of have to draw the lines. Not quite like Charlie, but be like, wait a second. He gets this job and then he talks to his dad with his business partners. Shokin goes away. I have questions. But you're not allowed to ask those questions. That makes you a conspiracy theorist. You're supposed to just sit back and do what you're told, Jack.
Well, questions lead to uncomfortable answers, and that makes that part of a conspiracy.
Yeah.
See, and then you're going to tweet about it, and in furtherance of a conspiracy, it's going to be awful. You're going to have to go to jail for a really long time for all your conspiratorial un-American activities.
Faithless says, I want to know about Pelosi and Mitt Romney's kids' deals too. Look, nobody's asked Pelosi about how her husband just happened to know which stocks to buy right after there were hearings about different companies. They sure as fuck aren't going to ask her about her kids. I hear you.
Do that.
I'd love to know too, but and you know what's funny about all this? They loved to go, the Trump kids. Look at the Trump kid. The Trump kids were already in business with their dad before they got into the White House.
Yeah, they were already rich.
They had already been doing this shit. Hunter, all of this shit starts after daddy. But that's okay. Don't worry about it. Oh my. I had not seen this story, Jack.
Oh, I'm here to help.
I appreciate it. Biden staffers met with special counsel Jack Smith's aides before the Trump indictment. No. Biden had nothing to do with this, even though there's reports out there that he was telling his aides that he really wanted Merrick Garland to move faster on the Trump indictment. Oddly enough, it's right after that we get the first Trump indictment from Smith. Just a couple of, I think it's like a month and a half. The White House counsel's office met with top aide to special counsel Jack Smith just weeks before he brought charges against the former president for allegedly mishandling classified documents, raising serious concerns about coordinated legal efforts aimed at President Biden's likely opponent in 2024. Okay. I get what he said there. It does raise serious concerns, but they're not serious concerns unless the press decides they're serious concerns. And the New York Post, look what happened with the Biden laptop. That there should have been serious concerns there, Jack, and instead every other media outlet was like, none to see here. So I get what they're saying here, but I mean, does this lead anywhere?
Nah, Biden will have 51 national security experts come out and say there's nothing here.
Jay Bratt, who joined the special counsel team in November of 2022, shortly after it was formed, took a meeting in the White House on March 31st with Caroline Saba, Deputy Chief of Staff for the White House Counsel's Office. The White House visitor logs show. They were joined in the 10 a.m. meeting by Daniel Ray, an FBI agent. Why is there an FBI agent there?
Oh, well, they got to coordinate across agencies to get on the same page for who to fuck over and have midnight raids on.
We know why the FBI was there.
Yeah.
Bratt, 63, also met with Saba at the White House in November of 2021 when Trump was mired in negotiations about the National Archives, who were demanding the return of presidential records from his By the way, the National Archives likely has a bunch of this already.
Yeah. Well, who do you think packed those boxes? It's not like Trump was like, and I'm going to go take this out of the library. No, that archives hacked a lot of this shit and sent it to him. They didn't want it back until they decided that they wanted to give him a hard time.
Saba, who's not an attorney, left the White House in May. Wait, they're working for the counsel's office? Oh, no, that's the deputy chief of staff to the White House counsel's office.
Something to see here, monkey.
And they weren't a lawyer? I mean, I guess that can happen because the chief of staff is just there to kind of coordinate and make everything work. And the deputy chief of staff is just there to actually do the work of the chief of staff. So, I mean, I guess you don't have to be a lawyer, but that does seem weird.
It also gives them plausible deniability, though. Oh, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to take this meeting.
Saba, who's not an attorney, left the White House in May to attend law school. Brad had a third meeting in the White House in September of 2021, this time with Catherine Riley, an advisor to White House Chief of Staff's office. The logs offer no information about what was discussed. They were probably discussing how their kids were doing in school, Jack.
Yes, obviously.
That's my guess.
Yes, just like Bill Clinton.
Well, it's September. Was there a new season of The Voice or something on? Maybe that's what they were talking about.
Oh, yeah. They might have been talking about shitty reality TV programming.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do when you have like meetings on the tarmac or in the White House with
who do
people
you
that you're
think's
not
gonna
supposed
win?
to talk to.
What do you think about Billy Bob being an asshole last week? That's what they were. Look, I'm sure there's nothing to see here.
No. People are just reading into this, whatever they want, just read into it. So nefarious.
Critics and legal experts question why Bratt was taking meetings at all with the White House counsel's office while part of an active investigation into President Biden's likely 2024 Republican opponent. Yeah, there's no reason for them to be there doing this. There's no legitimate purpose for a line DOJ guy to be meeting with the White House, except if it's to coordinate at the highest levels. Former New York Mayor. All right, they're quoting Rudy Giuliani here. He kind of has a vested interest, if I'm being honest.
A little bit.
So I agree with him here, but maybe a different source on this one. When asked to be, yeah, she's cuter.
Yeah,
and I've never seen her hair run down her face.
Ew, yeah, that was pretty fucked up.
When asked if he believed the White House and special counsel were coordinating the prosecution of Trump, Giuliani said, "You're damn right I do." Well, you're damn right I do too. Look, this is why you don't bring prosecutions against a political rival like this. Because even if everything is on the up and up, it looks horrible. We're not talking about murder here, Jack. We're not talking about something that is in dire need of taking care of. This could wait. Or could have been done before he announced. There's this nonsense theory out there from the left that the only reason Trump ran for president, the only reason he ran for president was to avoid prosecution. Really, none of the prosecutions come until well after he's announced for president.
Yeah.
No, but we just got the information. Bullshit. You've been doing the investigations for 2 years. And somehow magically that fast you get them ready. That's how. No, we got it now. Did you see of the 18 people or 19 people that were indicted down there in Georgia? The only one that's in the Fulton County jail is the black guy.
Yep, I posted about that on Twitter. Look, mighty suspicious.
The Fulton County jail, which is a piece of shit that even Democrats have whined about. It is a it's like a fucking Singapore prison. And the only one that didn't get bail is the black guy. Yes, seriously, Raman. I'm not making that up.
Yeah, he doesn't have the money to pay his bail, so they put in a poor black man.
Yep. They took the poor black guy and threw him in prison.
Nothing to see here, guys.
Yep. Why would you say that they're like the head of the KKK?
Oh, it's a mystery.
It's a mystery. It's a fucking mystery. Anyhow, all right. What do we got next here? Oh gosh. German cabinet passes bill to. Oh fuck you. Here we go again. German cabinet passes bill to make dead naming trans-identified people a criminal offense. $10,800 penalty. Dead naming is not a real thing. It's birth name. If you're going to use it, it's birth naming. Because it's your birth name. It's the name you were given at birth. It's the name you were assigned at birth.
Well, even if you had it at one point and you changed your name to something else, it's an alias then.
Yeah.
Well, every time somebody runs your record, they're not allowed to look up what your previous alter identities were?
No. That's dead naming.
Yeah, apparently. So every cop that tries to arrest you because you have a long, you're caught with a backpack full of stolen goods and you have a long history of retail theft. Yeah, maybe your dead name does relate here. So stop whining and being a baby.
Nope, it's not. You're not allowed to look at that. That is in their past, and this is their present. This is their present. By the way, people who get offended by dead names, go fuck yourself. All right.
Yeah, talk about first world problems.
Germany is considered stripping away more speech rights from its citizens as a new bill would make it a crime to dead name a trans-identified person. The draft bill, also known as the self-determination law, fuck off. That's not what self-determination means. Which passed through Germany's cabinet on Wednesday, would allow adults to change their legal name. Keldrick, thank you. You will say the pronouns, or you will be sent to the showers, bigot. I hope I did okay on that. I'm not great with accents. Thank you for the donation. Where are we? Would allow adults to change their legal gender and first name at registry office without any additional formalities. The goal of this bill is to make it easier for trans-identified adults to legally alter their identities, according to the AP. Germany's Socialist Democratic Party has published a video featuring trans-identified males in promotion of a gender identification bill, blah, blah, blah. That dude doesn't think he's passing, does he?
How dare you point that out? That's the next law they're going to pass.
He's got long hair and black lipstick. You could be in a hairband from the 80s, man.
No. You just violated the new law of the passing ordinance. You must accept their stunning and braveness and say how great they look, or you're a bigot.
I mean, he's also wearing the problematic military no-fuck glasses. But, I mean, come on, dude. You look like a dude with long hair and lipstick. In order to change one's gender on official documents, according to Germany's existing transsexual law, transsexual, you bigots. I'm not changing my sex. I'm changing my gender. I'm a boy now.
Yeah, where's Benjamin to translate that so we can hear how silly that sounds in actual German?
People must first acquire assessment from 2 specialists who are sufficiently familiar with the particular problems of transsexualism and then receive a court judgment. However, the draft of the self-determination law isn't all that simple, and it comes with a set of penalties for people who don't toe the line with the trans agenda. Under the bill, German citizens would be fined $10,800 for dead naming a trans-identified person, which is referring to said individuals by their previous legal name, according to Redux. For example, if John Doe decides to change his name to Allison Doe, and someone were to refer to him as John after the name change, they could be fined. Yeah, we get what it means. Somebody just needed some copy to get the extra 10 cents.
That's right.
The new rule also states that children who are 14 years old or older can alter their name and legal gender with their parents' or guardians' consent, should they agree. Teenagers can approach a family court to override them. Jesus Christ. Children under the age of 14 would require parental or guardian application at the registry office. So if you're 14 or older and mom says no, you can go to family court to try to override mom.
Yep. Like you do.
If you're 13 and a half, you're kind of screwed. This is fucking stupid. The passing of this bill. The passing of this bill through the cabinet comes as nations across the globe enact similar legislation. In Brazil, it's a new far left socialist president, Lula da Silva, recently made it a crime to spew homophobic hate speech, which is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Fuck off. You know, there are people who make fun, like, oh, the gay agenda. There's an agenda out there. And at this point, it's oh, what's up, AP? How you doing, my friend? How was your show tonight? I was busy. I couldn't catch it. We stream at the same time a lot, so I miss a lot of his shows, and it sucks.
You know, usually you can watch them later, especially on LostTejas.com.
On LostTejas.com, that's right.
It's VivaLostTejas.com, I believe. I have it bookmarked so that I can find it because sometimes the streams come down. And
AP's lazy ass didn't stream tonight. How dare you? Just because I did that like a week ago. How dare you, sir? I hope everything's okay and you're just taking a night off for yourself.
I don't think he usually streams on Sunday, does he?
Is it
It's
Sunday?
the Lord's Day.
What fucking day is it? I don't know.
Today's Sunday going into Monday.
All right.
Real fast. Thank you. I stand with monkeypox. Hello, best friend. Passive viewer here. I replied to you on Twitter with some interesting stats regarding the threat of white supremacy. It looks like more reading than it is. The meat is in the retweet. Thanks for the streams, dude. Thanks for the support, and I will check that out after this show. I've been really bad about checking replies on my tweets because I'm pretty lazy.
And for the record, as always, AP, if you want to jump on, just let me know. No pressure. By the way, the other day, no, I always say that no pressure because I'm not trying to pressure anybody, but like, hey, if you want to hang out, we can hang out. I know sometimes there'll be people, hey, you want to do this, and I don't want to disappoint you. You know what I mean? But for the record, after your appearance it's been months now. Somebody's like, you should stream with AP more often, like we avoid each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I stand with
shows at the same time. What the fuck?
I stand with monkeypox. Thank you so much. Hola, monkey. I sent Jack an X on X and tagged you in the X. Excuse me, but I got to go make a mustard and mayonnaise sandwich. Thanks for the stream.
That sounds gross.
Actually, mayonnaise sandwich is pretty good, although I use Miracle Whip.
If you have lunch meat in there, it's fine. But I don't know.
I was a poor kid, man. We didn't always have lunch meat.
I know. Oh, we didn't either. We always had peanut butter, though. We
didn't always have peanut butter either, man. But thank you for the donation. I do appreciate that. Yeah. I try. I hope everybody know when I say no pressure, I do mean that. I don't want him to like, I'm not going to his audience anymore because he's going to ask. No, it's always just if you want to. Mayo is nasty in my opinion. Actual mayo, I'm kind of with you on that. No, and that's cool, man. That's cool. Oh, she was down there. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Playing video games. What you playing tonight? What you playing? I couldn't do a long distance relationship with that, man. My arms would hurt.
Yeah, the way he describes her, she's pretty hot. So, I mean, he started off with she's Asian, and I was like, nice.
Oh, dude, No Man's Sky, awesome. They just had an update to it, man. No Man's Sky, for its original release, they are the model for what video game companies should do, because they had a horrible fucking release. People were justifiably angry at it, and where I forget how, I think we're like 6 years later, it has gone way above and beyond what it was promised, and none of it has been pay to play. All of it has been free upgrades. So,
yeah, a lot of people say how good that one is now, but when it launched, boy, that was a turd sandwich. Like, it was like Destiny 2, like full of glitches and bugs and all kinds of problems, like so many AAA games.
It was also missing half the content. It didn't work. You were supposed to be able to find friends on separate worlds, although it could be really hard. And you actually had people who found one another, but couldn't find them in game. Because you can actually pinpoint exactly where you are on the planet, and they are standing in the exact same spot and can't see each other.
Yeah,
So-
that's some wonderful work there.
Yeah, they did a absolute horrible job with it on the release. But yeah, as AP says, Hello Games is the OG redemption arc. Yeah, they have absolutely earned my respect for the way they fixed that. And so many other games need to do that. Some from AAA who have a ton of fucking money and just aren't doing it.
Well, why deliver when you know your customer base will buy shit products, and then you can release a couple of patches, half-ass it, and then you still get the $60.
So Monkey's a person on my friends list watching Internet Historian recently, so it recommends his videos. I haven't watched Internet Historian in months. I do like his stuff though. Anyhow, let's get to our article here. Exclusive. I see how I kind of pulled AP into the show anyway.
Yeah. Oh, no pressure, but I'm going to keep talking to you in chat.
I love talking to AP. It's not my fault.
So much pressure. Leave the man alone. He's playing video games.
Trans-identified male coach used girls' locker room to undress multiple times. Incident kept quiet by Pennsylvania school district. A school district kept quiet that there was a wiener in the girls' locker room?
I'm shocked too.
An adult male wiener?
Look, it's not like this has been going on constantly. It's just getting slightly more reported on because that one dude at the Loudoun County board meeting got arrested because his daughter got raped. And then it comes out that somebody else was a victim of that guy when they transferred him to another location.
You'll notice that this is in Redux and not the New York Times.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'd put the link in. I know where it came from.
It was
New York Times isn't going to cover this. What are you, high?
When I started the story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't hiding where it was from. Anyway, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania High School is making headlines. Where? Maybe in local papers.
Yeah.
Probably
in right-wing media.
Yeah. Headlines over the school board's debate on, Redux is, I'm sorry, guys, I get so distracted. They're one of the weird things that's been happening. They're kind of like Anna Kasparian in that on this, they are firmly on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that both politically and morally. But on everything else, they're like far left.
Yeah, they're very much feminists. They're just very clearly TERFs.
See, I'm beginning to hate the term TERF because while they are radical feminists, the whole idea of throwing the word radical in there is just to make them sound like they're crazy.
Oh yeah, but that's not going to go away. It's just one of those things that this is the talking point, and that they will chant it like a mantra, as if they're going to ward it off by constantly just saying it. These people are old school feminists, and a lot of their articles do reflect that, but they really don't like dudes hanging around women's areas.
Over on the side, one of their stories is UK social media user warned by police after expressing concerns about a man who dresses like a baby speaks to children in schools.
Yeah. That was almost the article I put in because it was pretty fucked up.
Will Monkey ever visit Las Tejas? Anytime that I'm free, I'm always happy to talk to AP, wherever we're at. AP is one of my favorite people online. And I've gushed about him before. I'm not going to do it now. His head's big enough. I don't need to lactate about him over here.
Well, give him a complex.
I was talking about Vivek earlier. I don't need to. But if I talk about how another guy gives me a boner, I'm going to be, just labeled as gay.
It's creepy, man.
I'm just saying. AP is one of the funniest guys on the internet. And if you're not watching him, you absolutely should be. All right. Where are we? But after our show, if we're on together, always watch this one first. No offense, AP. Watch this one first and then watch him later. All right. Where are we? You already have the gay hair. That's true. Redux spoke directly to board member Michelle Smyer That sounds like a fake name. Who reviewed the reprimand against Yates for the first time. Oh, sorry. I skipped most of the first part. Let's go back and read the beginning of this. A Gettysburg, Pennsylvania high school is making headlines over school board debate on whether or not to rehire a trans-identified male coach for the school's feminist tennis team. Female tennis team. Whoops. Sasha Yates, born David. Oh, you're going to get a fine in Germany. Has reportedly been subject to complaints after he frequented the girls' locker rooms and bathrooms on several occasions.
I just want to say hi. Here's my ding dong.
How about this? At least in this case, you have a faculty bathroom, presumably in your staff room or one that's just for you guys. You don't need to be pulling your dick out around kids at all.
Look, they don't need to be, but they're going to.
The only reason a male coach should be going into the female locker room like that is if one of the other players comes out and goes, so-and-so got hurt, quick, help. That's the only time. And otherwise, you and your dick need to stay out of there. The reprimand outlined 2 separate incidents in September of 2022 involving Yates undressing in the girls' locker room. Of course. While a previous report by the Epoch Times had made the public aware of 2 separate occurrences, Smyers revealed that there were in fact 3, twice in September and once in this past April. While using the girls' locker room and restroom, Yates sparked fear and discomfort from the female students. No shit, there's a pervert in the locker room.
An adult pervert with authority over them.
Sorry, where are we? Discomfort from the female students in addition to concerns from their parents. I would be standing outside that locker room as my daughter was in there. Yates had initially been hired by Gettysburg area school districts in 2018 while still identifying as a male, but in 2022, he began using the name Sasha after he declared that he was transgender. Redux learned that he had 2 children who appear to live in the UK with their mother, thank God. In the fall of 2022, shortly after Yates began identifying as female and using women's facilities, he stripped down to bra and panties in the girls' locker room. Does the coach need to change?
Apparently. He just wants to get naked around teenage girls. I mean, could he get more obvious? These are just degenerate perverts that want to get naked in front of kids.
Even in
his hard drive has some really interesting things on it for the FBI.
I mean, the girls' tennis team can't have that many people on it. What, 10 girls maybe? It's not like he's running laps with them or out there playing against them. You have them play against each other. Why are you needing to be undressed in the locker room?
Because his pants were tight. He had a boner.
And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've never heard of the coach changing in the locker room with the boys or girls. All right, whatever. A board member with the district told the Epoch Times in their exclusive that the female students reported that it was clear from what they saw that Mr. Yates was still fully a man. He doesn't even tuck well.
I doubt this dude tucks at all. He's probably got like his lump revealed so people can see it.
Bruh. You ever seen women's? I've never put on women's panties. I have dressed as a woman twice, once for the Relay for Life and once for Halloween, but I did not wear women's underwear. You ever seen the crotch of women's underwear?
I have seen the crotch of women's underwear.
It's small. There's no room for your giblets.
Because they're not made for men. They're made for women.
Unless he has the tiniest balls ever, he'd have had ball camel toe on that thing. They'd have been falling out.
Apparently, they just buy larger sizes and adjust the waistband.
I guess. 2 members of the board have daughters playing on the soccer team, one of whom was present when the incident took place. Yeah, fuck this. There's nothing I can say right now that wouldn't get me kicked off YouTube.
Right? I was pretty enraged when I read this. This guy's a fucking degenerate weirdo.
Yep.
And they're letting him do this. And they did admit to some of the incidences that were complained about.
But a third incident has now been brought to light by Smyers and other board members were finally granted access to the administration's reprimand against him from last fall. To their shock, not one, but 2 instances were outlined in September. Smyers says she believes that Yates released the same document to the Gettysburg Times upon knowing that it was finally revealed to the board. Why was this hidden at all?
You know why it was hidden.
I know.
I can't talk, but yeah, you know why. Because they don't want to be like, oh my God, we got another pervert. No, they're covering for these people because it's the politically correct thing to do. It's fucking disgusting.
Smyers confirmed that the first incident did involve Yates undressing down to his bra and panties as previously reported. According to the reprimand issued to Yates, many of the female students said they were uncomfortable with the man's presence in the facility as well as with the comments he made.
Comments. You're looking mighty sexy, Susie. Oh my God. Look, my girl penis is excited. My tendril clitoris is now fully immersed in your juices or something. Oh, this is just creepy weird.
As well as with comments he made to the girls. I was too busy picking my jaw up off the floor when I read it, Smyers said, because the second incident outlined where he'd gone into the same locker room and was discussing with the girls in there, talking to them about their menstrual cycles and what types of panties they like to wear.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Are you guys syncing up? I feel like we're all syncing up.
What is it with these fucking weirdos and wanting to talk to girls about their menstrual cycles? Remember, what's its name? Up there in Canada. Yavine.
Oh, Jessica Yaniv.
Yaniv, that's it.
Yeah.
If I need to talk to girls about their, what should I? Nothing. There's no reason you should be talking to an underage girl, especially one you don't know, about their fucking menstrual cycle. Why the fuck would that be a conversation? These are just perverts, okay? They're fucking perverts.
Yeah, they're degenerate, probably kid diddlers who want to get a little bit of exhibitionism in there and try and touch your kids. I'm shocked that we have not seen more cases of dads going out and beating the fuck out of these people covertly after hours in the dark with a ski mask on outside their houses or something. Because this is to the level, if somebody said that to my kid, I would be in a blind rage. If my daughter came home, thank God I have no children, but if I came home and my kid's sitting there crying because her teacher or coach is a fucking weirdo who likes to wander around in panties and ask her about her menstrual cycle, I have no idea what I would do. I might have a blackout. They're going to do this to the wrong person, and that person will be crucified for going after these trans people because they're a protected class.
Yeah. The answer is grooming. They're trying to establish a closeness with these girls. Sorry, still my eyes, guys. I got to get into that eye doctor. Yeah, that's why I say I can't speak about much of this because I'm already in a blind rage and these aren't even my children. This motherfucker should have been brought up on charges.
Absolutely. Instead, they covered it up. Just like Loudoun County did with that rapist in the bathroom.
What the ever-loving fuck, man?
Right?
You and I'll talk about what I'd do off the air, because on the air,
right?
I'd get in trouble.
Yeah, we will definitely get in trouble for what either of us would probably admit to.
Yeah, for the record, when Jack said it's surprising that hadn't happened, we're not advocating that.
No, of course not. That would be wrong.
But you know what? We have a problem in this country with 2 things. One, with dads even being in the picture.
Yeah.
And 2, with the whole notion that we have to put up with this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. There has been a passive acceptance because people don't want to lose what little they have.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The more we get this inflation and more people have less and less stuff, there's probably going to be a loosening of those morals. But I did find...
Furry Kitten says, do you remember that slippery slope fallacy that would never happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying, I'm sorry.
I found some video that goes back to that Indian reservation rangers as to what led up to that.
Oh, okay.
This apparently is the road to Burning Man.
Is it? Is that why there's so many people?
That's
there?
why there's so many people on that road, and that's why there's so many like camper vehicles and stuff.
That doesn't look like a highway that's traveled all that often.
No. I'll drop this link and the link for the other video that we showed earlier in case anyone missed it.
All right, here we go.
No, you're on public property. No, we got to get through. I'm sorry. Help us. You got shit to do. Sorry.
So these are obviously just some guys who are like, no, get this shit out of our way.
Yeah, they're trying to get to Burning Man, which was already delayed by about a day. I got a buddy who's out there, by the way. One of my old college friends is out at Burning Man. So he was probably in this line because I haven't heard from him all day.
I am surprised because they had that one fire at Burning Man that went crazy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often with the stink that's got to be coming off there.
You would think there'd be a lot of like methane combustion.
Yeah, like
the body odor and whatnot.
They light Burning Man and suddenly there's just a giant fireball across the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that doesn't happen. But, maybe the sacrifices to Moloch are enough. Who knows?
Those hippie chicks got to smell like ass.
Well, they're around hippie dudes who also smell like ass. So I don't think
the hippie dudes with their ball sweat for 5 days or however long that shit is.
Out in the desert. Yeah.
Ugh. You know what? There should be somebody there giving out Huggies wipes at the front. Here, take it.
No, just build a big fence around it, toss them in, like catapult them in as like a reward. Make it like the Hunger Games where they have to earn them.
Clean up, you dirty fucks. Anyway, sorry about that.
We gotta fucking move this fucking mess.
Whoa.
Yeah, see, this is another one of those places I'm not allowed to say what I do.
Right? Look, people pay a lot of money to go to Burning Man.
Which, by the way, is funny.
Yeah. My buddy, he's in for like over $1,000 now. And, that's cheap for what a lot of these people do.
Let's go LARP like homeless hippies.
In the desert, because nobody will die then.
You're going to hurt someone. I don't care. Look, you're hurting everyone. There's people with medical problems here. You're supposed to be in the fucking hot sun.
They want the cops.
Yeah. Call the cops. Call the cops. Who says we're not the cops? Call the cops. Show me your badge.
Call the cops. Show me your badge. How'd that work out for you, homie?
They tore up their shit. Can we watch that video again? Just the part where the cop crashes through the barricade. Because
he runs over this sign. It's funny as shit.
Yeah, these idiots had this coming. I don't know how they thought this was really going to end.
Well, these retards are like, they're going to Burning Man. They'll be on our side.
Yeah. What gets me is this was obviously escalating because there's people out there trying to physically move this barricade. So this went on for several hours, I bet, before people just got fed up. But yeah, it's obviously escalating. So the cops had to move this barricade.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad for these fucking dumbass hippies. They brought little fucking chairs to sit out in while they're blocking the road like assholes.
What is this flag?
I don't know. Looks like some hippie cult shit.
It's Kamala Harris's flag. It's got all the Venn diagrams on it.
Yeah. I imagine it's like the coexist thing or something equally dumb.
You guys are fucking clowns.
Walk into the entrance right now. Walk in. Get over.
What was she going to chain herself to?
The trailer there.
Yeah.
I think that's what she was chained to.
If I could drag the trailer, I could drag you with it.
Yeah, but they don't think anything will happen because it never does to these people.
True.
There's never consequences, which is why they do it. Just like the pedos and all the other freaks these days. There's no consequences. The FBI spies on you all the time. Maybe they get a little slap on the wrist or so. That's it. There's no consequences.
Together. Wait for the cops. No, the cops are coming. They're right over there.
Right now, baby. Lock in.
Oh, Assassin's pointing out that flag is the United Earth. That's the UN commissioned thing.
I just want to say that flag is hella gay.
Yeah, it's a mess. Looks like a little kid drew it.
Stop us from going to Burning Man. Can we fucking help?
You're gonna eventually get there.
Hey, miss, you know what?
You're going to eventually get there. Get the fuck out of the road. I would have grabbed that chain and dragged that bitch into the desert. No, I would not. In Minecraft. In Minecraft.
It's been 4 fucking days.
You're obviously.
Oh, we're not burners?
That's how you're really the
Wait for the call.
You're putting my life
Oh, well,
at
then you
risk.
can fuck off.
That was beautiful. I don't know if y'all saw that, but she just fell into the trailer.
Yeah, is that a bed frame or is that part of the trailer? Because I can't tell.
I'm not sure what the hell that is. I've never seen a trailer like that. It's some kind of frame that comes off it, so I'm guessing
It's like
you
an extension
do
or something.
something with it. Yeah, it's some kind of extender.
That's probably a boat trailer.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Is this burning, man? This is burning, man. This is a road. This is burning, man. Are you really burning, man? You put the government on the floor. This is the democracy. This is the democracy. We have a right.
To democracy. All right, let's take a vote of all the people waiting and you guys to see whether or not you should get the fuck out of the road.
Yeah, I'm with Fat Jason Momoa there. Get this shit off the road.
This guy's keeping him there.
Oh, well then fuck him.
Yeah, fuck Fat Jason.
I can't
Momoa.
tell who's talking, honestly, because these people are stupid.
The only way I can tell is because he's the one that keeps pulling it back out. He's the one that keeps pulling this extra frame back off.
Oh.
Get the cops. Get the cops. So you
Lock yourself in.
Lock yourself in.
So you're going to believe like human beings there, and then out here you're like an animal. Look at the truck coming out. This is a democracy.
You're going to behave like human beings, or I'm going to treat you like an animal. That right there would have set me off.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go. Let's do it. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a democracy. We have a lot of people that you're fucking up on the road. And you guys are doing
There he goes.
Are you a burner?
This is how we're trying to wake up the community. Highway patrolman, but like you're fucking up the highway.
Okay. You don't seem like you're in your official capacity.
No. You don't seem like you're in an official capacity. You're blocking. This is not how we do it. I don't know.
This is not how we do it. By the way, they're not blocking a road in America. They're actually blocking a road on an Indian reservation. Those are not technical. While Indians have been granted, all the rights of citizens, they get to manage their property themselves. Whoopsie. And that's why the police actually take care of this problem instead of just, I'm sorry, guys, you got to wait.
Baby, lock in and shut up, please. Lock in.
Doing this, man. Every change in society came from civil disobedience. All of them.
I'm not sure that's entirely true.
No. But hey, what do you want? There's a guy with a mullet and a fanny pack arguing with Fat Jason Momoa. There's no winners here.
No. The winners there were the police, and thank God for them. I'm glad they removed those assholes.
Yeah, I'm glad everybody involved got arrested. Fuck them.
They're very lucky there wasn't violence there.
You got that many people going to Burning Man? Yeah, there's gonna be somebody unstable there.
And that guy said he's a highway patrolman. That's why he stayed so calm. In Minecraft, I would have sprayed some. Oh yeah, I can't read the rest of that. Yes, in Burning Man, though. In Burning Man would have done that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up tonight's show. We are at 2 hours and 3 minutes, Jack. So I'm going to go play a video game.
Oh.
Yay. I really want to go back to sleep, man. I am so tired. My body's like, fat man, you did too much. I'm like, I know. But again, as I said, you know what this shows, Jack? It just shows I need to do more. So maybe I'll get up and be moving a little bit more. I'm not sure about that.
I doubt it.
Thank you. Well, it's what I should do. And see, this is one of those times where it's like, I know what I should do. I'm not necessarily going to do it. I should, but thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for the likes and the shares. Those help us more than you might know. Likes on a stream and then on a video are what get it in the algorithm. So the more you guys like, the more you help us out, and we really do appreciate that. Jack, anything you want to show out?
Yeah, I'll drop a link. As always, thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. We do appreciate your support and coming out and watching us.
Sleep, then game stream later. Nah, if I do that, I don't know that I'll actually game stream. When you've worked your muscles too hard, the first day is rough. The second day, in my experience, is usually worse. So moving around, even as little as I'm doing, is more helpful than just laying in place. So I'm gonna try to stay up and get some stuff done. It's not much movement, Jack. It's playing a video game, but it's better than nothing. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Going to be over on Ranting Monkey Games. Is Bubba still awake? I know he's awake earlier. He's probably asleep right now. You should switch hands for that. Dude, there's not a muscle group in my body that doesn't hurt right now, Jack. Which is sad. Really sad.
Wow.
But Ranting Monkey Games, oh yeah, Bubba's there. And Della Hayes joined us earlier. It was great.
Oh, nice.
We were able to have 3 people. So Della Hayes, if you want to hang out with us, that works too. So we'll be playing some Phasmophobia over on Ranting Monkey Games here very, very soon. I just got to get a couple of things ready, and then we'll go. And I am going to talk to Jack off stream for like 5 or 10 minutes.
That means 15.
I'm going to try. Why are you letting them know that I don't want to say disingenuous, because I'm very genuine when I say this stuff. Why you want to tell them I never keep up?
Because I tend to distract you pretty easily. So
why you want to hurt me so bad?
I'm not hurting you. I'm just letting people know they have time to go take a pee and make a sandwich.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be over on Ranting Monkey Games playing some Phasmophobia. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, take care of yourselves. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I have no song to sing this evening. I just made a word choice that's gonna fuck me over. This song is gonna rhyme eventually. So if you wanna come, oh no, nothing works there. I fucked myself at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing now. You're digging.
This was a show with me and Jack. We were talking about a bunch of tards. What rhymes with tards? Oh,
cards.
If we got thrown in prison, we'd probably play a bunch of cards. I've heard that's what they do.